Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to AriesEDC. I know some of you have been looking forward to this one. Not really sure why. All right, so this is the Jack Wolf Collusion. This is a one of Jack Wolf's collaboration blades with Jacob Creates and from Jacob Ginsberg with Jacob Creates. He is the designer of this blade, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty stinking cool. Jacob does some really awesome stuff. The Chickadee is by far one of my favorite EDC fixed blades, and it kind of was the one who got me interested in doing small EDC fixed blades. So right off the bat, let's talk a little bit about the Collusion. First things first, $235 for this fixed blade that we are about to take a look. You get the nice artwork here, which is all part of the big Jack Wolf package. You get the box with all the awesome artwork, like I said, and you get all the fun things that are inside the box. So make sure I don't lose any of that. And the packaging all costs something. And with his regular offerings, he has the little tube with all the puck and all the other things that are come along with it. So what do you get? You get this nice leather sheath. It is a pocket sheath with a nice clip. It does fit in the pocket. It is very difficult for me to get in and out of the pocket. It's very tight. And then you have like this little piece hanging down right here, which helps keep it in the pocket, I guess, for when you're putting the blade in and out of the sheath, which is pretty tight to get it in and out of. Is definitely not going to fall out once you get it in the sheath. It's not coming out. That is for darn sure. It is very tight. And the reason for that is because this sheath isn't really formed for this knife. This is just a generic sheath. They make hundreds of them, and then he includes them in the package of the knife. And over time, they start to get formed to the knife. So over time, I'm sure it'll become easier and easier to manage. But just for the short period of time that I've had it, it was very difficult to pull it in and out of the sheath. I definitely would come a different method of carry. The pocket sheaths aren't really my thing anyway. I would scout carry that and probably end up making a Kydex sheath for it. But that's just my opinion. There's plenty of leather makers that would be more than willing to create a different type of sheath, one that maybe had some different options for you. But this is what you get with the knife. And I'll tell you, the sheath is made very well. I will say that. It is made very well. Nice smooth leather, the nice stitching. Everything is done very well. The welt is in there, and it helps stop the blade from going too far. And it does go all the way in. I mean, that it goes all the way in, and you got plenty of space, and it's plenty of room for the blade. So let's talk a little bit about this blade. You have S90V, and this one is DLC coated, that black spelt. What do they call it? Belt satin DLC. So you have that nice DLC coated S90V blade. I don't understand why on the unboxing I couldn't read that. It's very clear, but I guess I'm just a weirdo. You have a nice hollow grind blade that comes down to a very thin edge. Done very well. The fit and finish on this is absolutely amazing. And again, it's done very well. I like the swedge up here at the top. And I'm a huge fan of that blade shape. I really like that blade shape. You have the what they call purple maze kieranite, which is basically purple haze kieranite. If you look on kieranite.com, I think the actual material is called purple haze. I have used it before. They did very good job with that. Man, polishing that to a perfect shine. And it's done very, very well. You have the full tang blade handle. you get a, you know, three, I can squeeze 4 fingers on there, 3.5. But you do have the lanyard, which comes in handy, and it is super thin and super slicey. I mean, that thin handle, but it is somewhat contoured. Like back in here, it is somewhat contoured just in the back. Well, I guess it's contoured all the way around. My bad. But it's a very slight contour because your handle scales are so thin. But it is contoured, and it's a nice, thin, overall great package for an EDC fixed blade. They do have the lanyard with this nice little anodized bead on it, which is pretty cool. I like how they offer that as part of this package when you get this blade. The Kieranite is done really well, nicely polished, and it looks amazing. So what do you guys think of that? I think that is a great little EDC fixed blade. I've had the conversation many times on what I think an EDC fixed blade is, and this totally fits within the parameters of what, in my opinion, is an EDC fixed blade. Nice, small, done very well. I just realized they have that nice sharpening choil there, so that is great for resharpening and doing everything. And you know, Jacob Creates does an amazing job with his designs and the things that he is doing. So I'm really happy to see that he did this collaboration with Jack Wolf, because it brings some really great qualities to some of the stuff that Jack Wolf does. So it's up to you. Let's look at some size comparisons and the size of this blade. So overall, the blade length, the total length is 6.62 inches. So not, well, let's turn this the right way around. All right, so 6.62 inches. So yeah, we're just a little over 6.5. And the blade is just under 3 inches, or just at 3 inches. Based on their website, it says 3.14, and that would be the back of the sharpening choil, the ricasso area, but the actual sharpened length is under 3 inches. Size comparisons. So this will be interesting. Let's look at some size comparisons first. Let's look at it versus a Kubi Bloom. Okay, so you got the Kubi Bloom sitting there. Looks pretty cool. And then we have something called the Dust Devil. I don't know why I said it like that, but so Dust Devil coming in a little longer than the Jack Wolf Collusion. So let's put those away. And let's look at a size comparison with the Rat 2. Pulling out some of the normal stuff. So it's just a little bit under the overall size of the Rat 2, which makes it a great little EDC fixed blade, and of course the Elementum. So you guys have those. Let's look at one more fixed blade. Now, I'm going to do this just because you guys knew I was going to. So I have this, and this is my blade called the Micro. And you guys can look at it, and I will share this. I did not know Jack Wolf was doing this project. I had no idea. I have a model called the Crow, and it looks like this, and I've had this for quite some time. And someone reached out and was like, hey, why don't you have a smaller version of the Crow? So I was like, why don't I have a smaller version of the Crow? I really like this blade shape. Let's come up with something different. So I came up with the Micro, or it wasn't called the Micro at the time, but we got the Micro. So I made the first Micro, and of course, right before I was getting done finishing the Micro, Jack Wolf drops the Collusion. I am not trying to copy. You can tell there are some differences. The Micro, this line comes all the way to the handle, where the Jack Wolf stops about right here. The handle shape is much different. I mean, I am in no way copying anybody. I just want to throw that out there. I had no idea he was doing this, and he had no idea I was doing this either. It's just great minds think alike, right? But both of them are great, and I wish him the best, especially with Jacob Creates' name on this. It definitely needs to be something that you guys look at. So if this is part of your budget, which I think that's the biggest feedback I always get, if it's part of something that you can afford at $235, S90V steel, nice thin blade, nice kieranite, and they have other options, of course. So you have to check out the website. I'll put the link in the description of this video, and you guys can check out Jack Wolf and all the really great things that he is doing. So there is the Jack Wolf Collusion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think it's a really great offering if you're able to afford one. They are pretty stinking cool. And support Jacob, because Jacob Creates is doing some really cool stuff. So thank you guys so much. Please remember, subscribe, like, leave a comment, or not. That choice is always yours.